Amay, where's Amay?
There's Amay. Amay is here, I think. Yes,
Hey,
he's
hi.
here.
Hi,
Is there
Govind.
no
Hi,
other
Manav.
Mary?
Everyone.
Yeah.
Hi.
हेलो कैमरा ऑन कर दूँ
हाँ,
Are Jara background is not so appealing, and I
अरे
cannot do the Unicode thing at my back due to
Ah, it's
technical
okay.
issues.
no stress, no stress.
It's okay. It's okay. Take it easy. I just wanted to show your face to everyone. But it's okay. Relax.
मैं दिखा देता हूँ उसे देखना तो रुक जाओ.
हाँ ऐसे अपना जस्ट अपना हसीन चेहरा दिखा दो सबको. ये I'm approachable.
Hi.
Hey, this is good enough.
हाँ, the
Yeah, वो
background
phone
is
से
good
join कर
enough.
पकड़ना पड़ेगा. I'm just. Can you do
Just hold it
this
for the intro.
instead? Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
go start
Okay then. So what's up guys? We're back for Unicode's day 4, the very last day of Unicode's hack prep. And today we are gonna have Manav and Raj as your subject experts. They are gonna be teaching you all Android development. We have a mentee Amay here who's gonna be helping you all with doubts. And yeah, hi Amay and Harsh and Rishikesh and I are just gonna simply observe today. We don't know app development itna, but we'll do everything I can to assist you all in every point of the time. You're gonna really enjoy this last session. Android development is something really, really interesting and really, really amazing. And yeah, as we said earlier, Android development single-handedly can get you an internship other than Android front end back end. And this इसके लिए एक session बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा रहेगा. And you guys are gonna have super fun with Manav and Raj. I know these guys, both of them. They're really fun and really easy to learn with. And you are gonna have an amazing experience today. And let's start with the as high as an energy that we had during day one, because we're gonna wind up with Unicode hack prep, and that today is the last day. And with this, we'll be also wishing you all the best for your hackathons. So all to you, Manav and Raj, all the best. Let's start day 4.
Okay. So thank you, Govind.
You're very welcome. Let's go.
So I'll be starting, and Raj will continue. So first thing is you would be getting bored with PPT. So we didn't make one because कितना PPT देखोगे. So let's directly hop into Android Studio. So if you have downloaded Android Studio, please try to do stuff I am doing. I'll try to go slow. So let's begin. So this is Android Studio's console. Let's create a new project. Uh, so there are many activities. You can use maps, login activities, scrolling activities, settings, everything. But we'll use empty activity. Okay, let's name it. So sorry, I didn't tell you what are we making. We are going to make a weather app which will show you weather obviously. What else it will show? So let's go. Is my screen visible or I'm just
Yep,
saying anything?
everything's good.
Yeah,
Everything's
it's
good.
visible,
Everything
man.
it's visible, right? So let's name app web web app whatever. Weather app. So it's so we'll be using Java. We can use Kotlin also, which is much more popular nowadays than Java, but we'll be using Java. So minimum SDK is the SDK which will be used for development purpose. The lower you choose, you will be accessible. Your app will run on approximately 99.2 devices. मतलब lower you choose, more devices you can cover. So I'll choose Jelly Bean 4.1. Use legacy library. So it will take some time in loading. So till that time, I'll tell you why to do app development. So as Govind said, you can get single-handed internships if you do Android app development, and there are very few people who do Android app development.
I agree
So,
with that.
so you can single-handedly get it, and you can get it easily because you have no competition, right? So that's why I also started doing that, and I got Unicode entry also quite easily because there was no competition. So let's see. The issue in Android Studio is it's starting. It takes too much time to build.
And if you don't have a good laptop, it
What's
would
up?
be better if you get a good laptop and then try Android
Right,
Studio
Studio.
or go for web dev. because
Yeah.
Android Studio really requires a
Right.
high processing
Go
laptop.
ahead, laptop. Hmm. And क्या बोलूं? हाँ, why मतलब why we build Android apps and why we build web apps. So we only build apps whenever it is necessary. We don't build apps for anything. मतलब अभी एक छोटा सा चीज है जैसे MU का वेबसाइट है. So we won't make a web app for MU because we go there only once a year. Whereas Amazon we go every day, मतलब almost every day कि ये खरीदना. So we make apps for the thing which is used daily and not monthly or yearly. Okay, so build is successful. Wow, thank you.
Mano, your
So,
screen has stopped sharing.
oh, okay, I'll start again. Um, is it visible now?
Yeah, it's visible.
So this is main activity Java that Raj will explain in a bit. So we'll be working on XML. XML is the front end part of the app development. So I'll try to make it full screen to Windows so that you can easily use it. Never mind. So you can see here there is a normal screen how the app will look and there's a blueprint of the app. So we won't be using the blueprint right now. So let's keep it off. This is it. No, no. हाँ, design only. So we write some XML code. First, I'll show you how you can drag and drop and make your UI, and then I'll show you how you can write code and create a UI. So click on text, plain text view. You can drag drop anywhere, and there's something known as constraint layout. So you have to join everything with each other so that it stays in the place where it is. So let's join it. And at any point, if you have any doubt, please let me know. मतलब in the chat, and someone will convey it to me. So I added a text view. Let's delete this hello world. So you see many contents over here. So you can add some padding heading, which you may have been learnt in HTML CSS. So let's add 10, 10, 40, whatever. So you can use this to add margins and paddings. Let's close this. So to change the text, you can come over here and you can write, let's write, make it weather app. The you see the text changed.
Mano, just increase the text size so it would be visible.
Yes, yes, I increase it. I'll zoom it also. Mm-hmm. Text size. You can find all the attributes which you want here. Let me increase the size.
Uh, text size होगा नीचे.
Size. Great. Font size. I think it's this. And for every view you add, you also have to add a ID. So let's name it weather. And naming it, you can't keep anything. You can only use letters and numbers and underscore. Weather app text.
Also, the method Manav is using right now, that is actually not used very commonly. Like drag and drop is,
Uh,
it's not preferred to use drag and drop. After once he does this, he'll show you how to write the code for
Code
the same
also.
thing, and
So
that would be comparatively very quick. And usually that is preferred in real world.
so we'll increase the size and we'll just drag it upwards. Mm. So we added a text view. Now I'll show the code also. So here's the code. We use XML. XML stands for Extensible Markup Language. It's just like HTML. So here's the text view with margin size and everything. Now let's add one more thing.
So whatever he did in the console over there, like whatever he drag dropped, the
Stop.
size he changed, everything he did there, that is the same changes would be reflected in the code.
Roll.
Like as you can see, margin start is 40, margin left is 40. So all that he did in the console over there, the same changes would be reflected in the code. So if you directly write the code, it would show the same changes in the app. So usually, when you are somewhat familiar with Android Studio, you write the XML rather than dragging and dropping everything.
So now we'll add edit text, edit text, edit text. Widget layout, containers. Wait, I'll add it directly via code. So let's add it via code. So use split screen. You use the HTML open tag.
हाँ, E capital का तो आएगा.
Mhm. Edit text. So let's keep the width 40 scaling pixels and height. Um, so there are two ways in which you can keep the width. It can be directly number or you can just write match parent. So it will just match the size of whole screen and we can write height as 100 sps. No, 100 sps will be too big. Now let's close the HTML tag. So now it's still showing red. Matlab there is an error. So the error is that you haven't added the constraints to the edit text. So we can either use this directly joining this, um, or we can write some code.
Uh,
Like,
There's a
Manav,
doubt.
yeah, what is SP? So SP is basically scaling pixels. It's a unit of measurement, like how you have pixels, DP. So same way, SP is a unit. So like you can increase or decrease the size using SP. Yeah, SP is a unit for text size, correct.
so you can see the code is generated constraint bottom to bottom and top to top. So bottom is connected to bottom of the screen, top is connected to top of the weather app. So it's written ID weather app. And to so I'll show you how to use via code, write via code layout, layout underscore. So you can see that if you aren't knowing anything, there's the helper which is showing you what methods are available. So start. So start means left side of the edit text, left side of the component, and end is the right side of the component. So I got it hanging. So we'll be joining the edit text to the start of to the parent and end also with the parent.
Can you explain once again how do you resolve the edit text error?
Which error?
Edit text.
Uh, I didn't get you. Acha,
Yeah. So the error
acha.
that was,
हाँ
so
go ahead.
whenever you create a new component, you have to add it to somewhere. Like you see those zigzag lines from towards the weather app and the one that is down below. So that basically restricts the component to the fixed size. So if you don't put that error and if you then try running the app, the edit text would slide either to the top of the screen or to the bottom of the screen. So to keep the components in their place. So like you wouldn't want the edit text to be above the title, correct? You would want it to be exactly where you have placed it. So for that, you add a constraint. So as you can see in the XML code, he has written layout constraint bottom to bottom of parent. So parent का मतलब एकदम screen के bottom पे चला गया. And same way constraint to the constraint top to the bottom of weather app text.
Right.
So the above constraint is below this weather app. So whenever the app starts, no matter what the screen size will be, the edit text will always be below weather app and above the bottom. So that's how you restrict the components to their places.
Okay, now I'll add layout to the end. Constraint to end of parent. So we can use both together to make it faster. So if you want an exact position, so you can drag and drop. And to just create anything, you can just write text. And whenever you create a component, you just have to give it an ID. So let's name it something. Uh, edit.
So this ID that he is giving is equivalent to a
It,
variable name. So when you want to do anything with this edit text, you will refer it with the name as edit text that he has given. So you could give it any name as long as it's a valid variable name, that would work. But it's necessary to give all the components an ID.
and it should be unique. Let's add margin, left, 10. Now let's add a button. So to see whichever which components you have, you can go to design and you can see whichever components you want, button, text, common which you can many times most of the time get all the components from common only. There will be only few times you use any of other components. So now let's add uh, a button. So button uh, mm, 40 ASP. Close it. Now let's give it an ID.
Manav, keep it in split screen so they can see the
Oh, okay,
implementation side by side.
okay. So it's coming in the corner as it's showing it red. So can anyone tell the reason in the chat? Uh, let's see. Or if anyone wants to turn on their mic and answer it. Why is it showing an error? I think no answers. So the same reason is that I haven't set the constraints for this also, that where it will be located when I run the app. So let's add it. Constraint top to bottom of ID edit edit bottom. So you can see that whenever you don't know something or you just remember half of the name, it's helping me to guess whatever I am trying to find. And it's not that you have to write the correct spelling. So I want constraint bottom to bottom of. So I wrote contra bottom. So to bottom of I found it here and to bottom of parent obviously. Add left and right constraint. Layout constraint end. End is the right side of the component and start is the left side of the component. Parent start. Oh no, parent. So the button is looking small, so I'll just increase the width. And there is no text inside, so let's add some text. Mm, string get weather. I think let's increase the height also to 40, 200. So you can see it coming in the center. If you want to push it upwards, you will have to add some margin. So let's add some margin in the bottom. Margin bottom 40. So many a time everyone uses SPs for margin border, DPs for border margins and everything, and SPs for heights and width of a component.
Also, at any time when you're unsure what the height or width should be, in the width and height width and height attribute, you'll have a value called as match parent, wrap content.
Okay.
So what wrap content does is based on what input you give. So for example, here he has written get weather. So earlier, as you saw, the get was not fitting properly. So he had to manually increase the height. Now, if instead of that, he did wrap content. So what wrap
Okay.
content does is it basically dynamically adjusts according to the text that you have given. As you can see, it precisely uh, puts the size as the text given. So now instead of get weather, he had put get weather now. So the width would automatically extend.
Manav, there's a doubt in the chat.
Okay, I'll see.
Okay.
Can
How
you
can you increase the text
text
size?
size, please? Which text size? In a button or of a edit text? So if you want to increase, okay, edit text, button, right?
Edit text में भी कुछ hint या कुछ दे दे, so they'll know that
Ah,
it
I'll add
exists.
an hint. So I'll add a hint. I just forgot to add it. So hint is something that whenever you click on it, it will just go off. Yeah. And add city. So whenever you click on it, you'll just not see the add city name. So let's increase the text size of the button. So whenever you are unsure that what would be the attribute called, so write anything which you can find. So you can find text size. So 40 SP. I'll just keep it small. DP. You can keep it to inches also, millimeters also, if you want an exact UI. So we
And
have
certain attributes are common to all components. So if you want to increase the size of add city name, you will again use Android text size, but that would just be in the edit text ka attribute and not in the button ka attribute. So some components are some methods are unique across all components.
okay. So I'll run it and show it in the app. So if you haven't created a virtual machine, so you can click on the top of the uh, on the top and find AWD manager. There is an option create virtual device. I already created, and then you can use a phone whichever is suitable for your computer. If your computer isn't that great, please use Nexus 4 or something. And if you want, because my laptop is quite good, so I downloaded Pixel 3a. So let's run it on the emulator. So it will take lots of time. Oh, so can you see the emulator?
No, it's not visible.
I I have to change the screen settings.
Also, it's not necessary to run your app on an emulator. So if you don't have that good of a laptop, you can always connect your phone with a USB and enable USB debugging on your phone. So after that, you can install the same app on your phone and see.
So you can see this now. Is it visible? Emulator. Yes.
Yeah, it's visible.
So the issue in Android is that if you have to change some small thing in the app, just like if you have to change this text from weather app to weather, you'll have to rerun it again. So let's change it and I'll show you. If you want to so you'll have to rerun. And if you have a big app, it takes more time to run. So you can add some text here. Button. There is weather app. So thank you. That was my time.
Yeah.
Now Raj will take you further on the backend part of this app.
Okay, so what he did till now was just the UI. So this doesn't really do anything. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I had done this code before. So this was how it looks after you've added all the UI. So what Manav used is called as a constraint layout, and what I have used is called a relative layout. So what constraint layout does is for every time you need to mention something, you need to mention it with respect to the screen. And what relative layout does is you can mention it with respect to another attribute. So I have given the title as weather, as you can see in this text view. Okay. So, and I've said layout center horizontal is equal to true. So what this means is this will be in the center of the screen. Okay, center of horizontal screen. So after that, I have made an edit text which shows enter city name, and here it is seeing um, Android layout below heading TV. So the variable name of this is heading TV, and I have said the layout of the edit text should be below heading TV. So as you can see, it is placed exactly below heading TV. Now same way for the button, I have made it layout below weather ET. So basically weather edit text. So it is placed exactly below this. So I prefer to use relative layout because it makes it easier to adjust the UI and all that, but you can choose either one you want. So this was the UI till now. Now we'll get on the backend part of it. So there are two files. One is XML file and one is .java file. So what XML file do is they basically take care of your UI. So this UI is only because of the XML file. Now what .java file does is it basically gives some function to those UI. So whenever you start your XML, whenever you start your main activity, this would be the default code. Like this wouldn't be there. You will have a public class main activity, extends app combat activity, and you will have a on create. So this would be by default whatever you get. So now what you have to do is you have to basically create a variable for all the components that are present in the UI. Okay. So as you can see here, I have created a text view for the temp TV and pressure TV. So these are basically these two text views where we will get the weather and display it. Like you will need something to display the weather. Then I have created the edit text weather ET. So this is where you'll enter the city name and we'll send that somewhere. So for that, we have created this variable edit text. Then we have a button called as the weather button. This is basically the button that we have placed in the XML. And this is private string city to store whatever city you enter in the edit text. Okay. So now what we do is whenever, like the first thing that you should do when you create all this is you have to link these variables to the UI elements present. Like till now you have just created variables. Now how would Android Studio know that this temp TV is referring to this text view and not this one? So for that we have to write something called as, so if I'm referring to temp TV, I'll say temp TV is equal to find view by ID r dot id dot the variable name that we have given here. So here also I have given the variable name as temp TV. As you can see, Android. Okay, just a second. As you can see, the variable name here I've given is temp TV. So what I'll do is find view by ID r dot id dot temp TV. So this means that my variable in the main file is linked to my variable in the UI file. So now any changes I do to this variable will reflect in my UI. And that's what we want, right? Whatever changes are happening in the backend should reflect on the app. So the same way we'll do with all the other text views. So I'll do pressure TV is equal to find view by ID r dot id dot pressure TV. And for the sake of convenience, you usually name both these variables the same name so that you don't get confused and you don't have to like constantly go back and check what did I name that. Okay, so I'll just write this. Okay. Okay, so we had 4 UI elements, we had 4 components in the XML file. So this was just that heading. We don't need to do anything with the heading. So we don't use a variable for that. And for these other 4 elements, the edit text, the button, and the 2 text view, this and this, we created variables for all of them. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now what we
And
have to do is,
and also you can see he has written in on create function. So what on create is, as soon as the screen is created, it will do these tasks.
so this is basically the void main of Android Studio.
Yeah, void main of
It is equivalent of that. Like this would be the first thing that would run. Okay. So now I have created all this thing. So if I run the app, it's Gradle build is running. This is the previous, like this is what it would show, but it wouldn't do anything because I have still not given it any functionality. Okay, it's installed. Can you all see the emulator?
No, you'll have to change the setting. You'll have to show all the screens. And only you'll
Okay,
be able
just a second. I don't have an option of all the screens. Okay, I'll just show the emulator then. Okay, so can you as you can see, whatever we entered, it's here. But if I click here, nothing is happening because we haven't really given any functionality. So if I click, nothing is happening. So now the main part is now to add functionality to it. So when I click get weather, I should get the temperature and the description or the pressure or whatever you want. So what we'll do now is we'll do the backend part of it. Okay. So in the backend part, firstly, uh, there's a thing called on-click listener. So if you as you can see, when I clicked on weather button dot, the first method that shows is set on-click listener. Do new on-click listener. Okay. So this is the method that comes up. So what this does is whenever the button is clicked, it will listen, like it will trigger this function set on click listener. And now in the public void on click, you have to define what the function, like if this button is pressed, then you have to do this. So whatever function is to be carried once the button is clicked, we have to write it here. Okay. So first things, what do we do when the button is clicked? We need to get the city name from the edit text. Okay. So as we've mentioned, I've mentioned the variable private string city. Okay. So we'll get the city name. The city name would exist in the edit text because the edit text is where you entered the city name. So, and the name of the edit text is weather et. What we'll do is edit text city is equal to weather et dot get text dot toString. Now, why we need to do toString is because by default, all the text views store strings in the form of char sequence, and we have defined it as a string. So we need to convert it to toString. We need to convert it to string using the toString method. Okay. So now we've got the city name. So now we have to get the real-time weather. Now to get the real-time weather, we'll do something called as a API call. To get the to get the you get the details, there's a website called as Open Weather API. Okay, as you can see this. So what this does is this gives you the current weather data for one location. We'll be using this API. So for this API, they have given us the URL. We need to enter the city name and the API key. Okay, you'll get an API key by creating an account here. And if you go in my API keys, you'll get few API keys. See, as you can see, there are like some API keys, you can generate them. Like if you just trying out, you don't have to pay anything. But once you launch it as a commercial application, you have to like pay them some fees. So this is the API key that we'll use. So I have placed that here. So this is my API key, and this is the URL that they had provided.
Your
Okay.
Android Studio isn't visible.
Okay,
You
sorry.
will have to.
Okay, is it visible now?
Yeah, it's loading.
Okay. Yeah, my laptop just hang. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you all see now? Ha. Okay. So this is the key and this is the URL. Now the good thing about Android Studio is there are very few things that you have to actually like code it by yourself. Most of the time there would be some library exist, like there would be some library that would already exist. So now to get URL, we'll use a library called as Volley. Now you can't just use Volley like that. So what you need to do for that is you need to go in Gradle scripts, and in the build.gradle, there will be a module app. So if you double click on this, you will get this. So this is basically a overview of all the app. So the whatever in the first thing, wherever you mentioned all the details like the min SDK version, target SDK version, all that, this would be generated by Android Studio by itself. You don't have to do anything here. What you have to do is most of the times you would have to change the dependencies, like basically add dependencies. As you can see here, you need to add dependencies. So this is the dependency that we add for volley. Now, how to get this? So basically you go on Google and you search volley library in Android. So it would show you the Android developers thing. If you open that, you'll get a link to this, like how to implement this. So this would be a documentation of the library. And see, as you can see here, this dependency is implementation. So for any library you want to implement in Android, there would be something like implementation space com dot something and the version. So basically you have to copy this and place it in your module app. So you place it here, and then like once you place it, you'll get okay. So once you place it, you'll have to press on sync now. So this will basically import the download that library, that whatever you've mentioned here, and it will give you the like it will give you prompts for all the methods that are present in that library. Okay, so that is a good thing about Android Studio. So if you click on sync now, it will take a minute or two to sync the project. So basically it downloads all the files in this library, and then you are good to go. So once it syncs the Gradle, then we'll work with the API. Okay, so till now, till then we'll see what the API offers. So we are calling this API. Open weather, we have to specify the city and API key. API key you will get when you create an account, and city name would be entered by the user. And let's see what it returns. So examples of API call me, you will get this. So this is basically the JSON file that it will return. Okay, so as you can see, it has JSON object coordinate, weather, base, main, visibility, wind, clouds, like a lot of information is there. You can choose whatever information you want. Okay, so for this, I'll take uh, main, and I'll take the temperature. Okay, so but one thing to note here, in front of weather, there are square brackets. Now in JSON, a square brackets represent an array and a curly bracket represent an object. So what it's saying is basically there's a JSON object called coordinate, there's a JSON object called base, there's a JSON object called main, but there is a JSON array called weather. Now what difference this will make, we'll see in the code. Okay. So see, you can see it has been implemented successfully. If there was some error, it would show you in red. Okay, so now we've got the city. Okay, what is our URL? Our URL is this one. So we'll say URL URL is equal to, we'll just copy paste this. And here we have to add a city name. So we'll get the city name. Okay, so we'll get the city name from the variable city that we have mentioned, like from that what we have got here. And we'll just add HTTPS here. Okay, so this is the URL that needs to be passed. So now comes how will we use volley? So basically to get volley, what you'll do is you'll need a request queue. So see, as you can see, request queue com.android.volley, request com.android.volley. So what the Gradle sync did was it downloaded all these files, and these methods are ready for us to use. So if you didn't do the Gradle sync, you wouldn't have gotten this pop-up. Okay, the request queue is equal to new is equal to volley dot new request queue. Now we have to pass the context. So to get the context, we'll write get application context. Okay. So once we are done with that, we have to create a JSON object for the request. So JSON object request we'll name it as request is equal to new JSON object request. So now whenever you don't know, like sometimes you'll get this error. So what this error means is there are some parameters that need to be passed that you haven't passed. Okay. So to do that, the first parameter is like usually like you'll get a pop-up saying what is the error. Okay. So the first one is we have to pass what method we want. Okay, so here just we are getting information from the server. Like you can also use it to get, put, delete, all those. But we are just getting information from the server. So we'll use the get method. So it will be request dot, just not this one. Just a minute. Okay, we'll do request dot method dot see. Now we've got all these options: get, delete, head, options, patch, post, put. But we want to get file, so we'll use get. Then the next, see, now you can see these are the parameters that it accepts. So int method, then it was URL. So we'll pass the URL. After that, we have to pass the JSON object request. Okay. So the JSON request is a new okay, so we've not created a request yet, so null. After that we have to pass a listener. So new, the first pop-up that shows, just click on that, then it will by default give you some method. And now you can see as all of them are in red, we have to add one more parameter. Okay, so just to explain what we did here is, so we created a request object. What the request object what parameters the request object takes is, the first one is the get, like the type of request. It can be get, put, post, anything. The second one is the URL. Now the third one is a JSON request, but we don't have any previous request. We just want a new request. So we'll pass null here. After that, it was response listener. So what response listener does is, whatever response the server sends back to us. So if it's like the JSON file, like this JSON file that it sends to us, this will be captured by this method, by the JSON listener method. And the last method is response on error listener. So if for some reason it is not able to get a request or there is some error, then it will then this method will go. Okay. So now this response object contains all this JSON data. What we have to do is we have to get the value of uh, temperature, and we have to get the value of main. Okay. So now how to get both of them? First, we'll do the main part. So as I said earlier, main is a JSON object. Okay. So what we will do is, this is the response object. So what we'll do is, we'll get an object, JSON object is equal to new, I think it's response dot get JSON object, and we have to pass the string name. Now what is the name of this object? It's main. So I'll write main. Why is it an error? Okay, so unhandled exception. So what this means is, it won't be always possible that there would be an object that contains main. So for that, we need to just click on surround with try catch. Okay. The good thing about Android Studio is it does most of the work for you, but you should know what work you have to tell it to do. So this, so the object contains the main part. So now we've got this this value. So from this, we need the value of temperature. So what we'll do is, we'll create a string temperature is equal to object dot get string, and the name should be temp. The name should be temp. Okay. So from what it does is, it gets the temperature of the object. So now we've got the temperature. we have the value of this file. Okay. So now we'll take the main. As I said, main was in an JSON array of weather. So we need to get that. So now we'll create a new variable, JSON array. We'll call it array is equal to response dot get JSON array. Now, what is the string name of the array? The name of the array is weather. Okay, so we'll call it weather. So now we have this array, and as you can see, there is just one object in the array. So we'll use the index one. So array index like index 0 dot just a second. JSON object, the description. So we'll use it. Description is equal to array dot get JSON object, and we have to use the index. So index 0. And what we want? Index 0 may we'll get this. Okay. And from there we want main. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we have this file now. We have this object. From this we want the value of main. Okay. So string main is equal to description dot get string main. Okay. So now we have the value of main and we have the value of temperature. Now the only job left is to display this. To display this message on our text view. So what we'll do is we'll do temp TV dot set text, and we have the in temperature, so temp. Okay, so now the temperature would be now the temperature is set. Now the other one is main. So I've used the name pressure TV, but you can like name it anything. I've just named it pressure TV dot set text to main. So what this does is it sets the temperature to the temp and pressure TV to the description that we've got. And if you want to beautify it, you can even write temperature is. It's basically a string, so you could perform this. Then you can write description is. So this would show. Now, what response listener does is you could like make a toast message. So toast message is basically a pop-up that you get if there is an error. So what we'll do is toast dot make text. We need to pass the context, that is main activity dot this. Then we need to pass the text. Enter valid city. Okay, and then toast dot length short and show. Okay, so what this does is if there is an error, it will show the pop-up saying enter valid city. Now the same thing will also show in the error listener. So if there is an error in the JSON, we'll show this. And usually this error that you get, this helps you determine what went wrong. Like why isn't it working as you expected it to work? So now I think we are set. Let's try running this again with the
By the time it's
functionality.
running, you will be those who haven't been working with Java. Using a new keyword is compulsory to initialize an class because most of you wouldn't have used Java.
So yeah, as you can see, it said install successfully finished, and we have our app. So now if I write any city, suppose Mumbai, and if I say get weather, okay, yeah, whenever there is an error in Android Studio, you can open the logcat. So logcat is here below, and this is basically what is happening on the backend. So if there is an error, it shows here. Errors as such. Let's Let's just go through it again if we've made any mistakes. We've set the temperature, pressure T, weather ET. Okay. Okay, this seems fine. Okay, yeah. So why isn't it showing anything? So as you can see, we've generated this request queue. So what I forgot to do is we have to add the request that we have created in this queue. Only then it will work. So after we are done with this, uh, after we are done with on response on error. Okay. So after this, we have to just okay, yeah. So after we are done with the request, we have to queue the request. To do queue dot add request. Okay, now it should work. So now if I try running it again, okay. And as Manav said, even if you make a small change, you have to install the app again. So it installed. Now if I write Mumbai, see, as you can see, temperature is 303.16. This is showing in Kelvin and description is haze. And now if I write some wrong city, like if I say get weather Mumbai, enter valid city, as you can see, enter valid city. So this is basically what we call as a toast. Okay, and here you could get anything you want. Like I just got the temperature and description. You can get the coordinates if you want. Uh, pressure, humidity, visibility, anything. Basically, these are the values that we have. You can return and like you can show any of these values that you want. And this works for any city in real time. So if I Mumbai, if instead of that I type Delhi, get weather. See, Delhi has 303.69. Now if this is in Kelvin, now what to do if you want to convert it to temperature? So we have the temperature in the string temp. Now let's convert that to double. So how to do that? We'll make double val is equal to double dot parse double string temp. Okay, so for those who don't know this, this is a function in Java. What it does is it converts the string value to a double value. Okay, so parse double basically accepts a string and converts it to double value. What we want to do is we want to like convert it to Kelvin. That is basically subtract 273.15. Okay, 273.15. So now we have to show the value of val. Now if I run the application again, let's see if it shows the changes. Okay, now if I write Mumbai, see, now also it's showing so many values. If you don't want to show these many values, you can convert it into string and maybe like get a substring till 5, or you can round it off to any near value. Like all that changes you can make whatever you want. But this was the rough working of it. Now I'll just go through it, like I'll just explain it quickly once again, and then like we'll open it to questions if you all have any doubts. So first thing that we do is we create a UI. So in the UI, you create like you need to have a rough idea in mind. Like we know we are making a weather app, should have a heading saying weather. It should have a edit text to enter the city. We should have a button to get the weather, and we should have two text views to display the weather. So you'll code this out. Like I prefer coding than dragging and dropping, because dragging and dropping is never accurate, and it takes way more time. Once you're comfortable with coding, it would hardly take you 5 minutes to make such a simple layout. So once you are done with that, what you need to do is you open your main activity. In that, you first declare all the text view, like all the components that you are going to use. So we have two text views, one edit text, one button. Okay. Then you link these variables to the variables used in the UI by using find view by ID, r.id. Whatever the name you have given. So I prefer giving same names for the sake of convenience. You can give different names. Like there's no compulsion as such. Okay. So once you have done this step, you basically linked the UI with the backend. So now what this function does is it basically tells what to do after the button is clicked. So this will only trigger if the button is clicked. So now what is the difference between this and, like, suppose if I've given a toast here and if I give a toast here, suppose I write the same toast. So what this will do is when the app is started, it will show this toast. Like it won't wait for the button to be clicked. So what on create does is as soon as the app is started, this method will launched. See, enter valid city. I will make the length long so then you'd be able to see the changes. Okay.
So this length long means the time. And
Yeah, the duration of for how long the pop-up will show. Let's see, enter valid city. Like it didn't wait for me to click the button. Now if I click the button, enter valid city, because we haven't entered any city. Okay, so that's how this works. So once we set an on-click listener, we'll get the on-click method. In this method, our main functionality lies, because this is where we call the API, get the JSON data, and display the JSON data. So here we've got the city, we've got the URL, we've made a request queue. So this is just like the standard code. Like this much code, you basically have to add no matter what. Like so if you don't really understand this much, it's okay. In Android, there are some methods that you have to use. Like you don't have to understand anything here. Like if you press response.listener, एक पॉपअप आएगा, एक प्रॉम्प्ट आएगा, उसको क्लिक करोगे तो ये पूरा मेथड आ जाएगा अपने आप. सेम वे इफ यू प्रेस response.error, तो ये पूरा प्रॉम्प्ट आ जाएगा और आधा कोड अपने आप आ जाएगा. What you have to do is इसके अंदर रिस्पॉन्स आने के बाद क्या करना है. That is the main thing. And that we did, like we got the object में हम लोग को टेम्परेचर चाहिए तो टेम्प का वैल्यू लिया, फिर एरे लिया, एरे में से भी जो ऑब्जेक्ट चाहिए था वो लिया, और अगेन उसका वैल्यू लिया, एंड हियर वी आर जस्ट डिस्प्लेइंग द वैल्यूज. Also, once you have linked these variables, you can change any attribute of the variable. Like अभी suppose इधर edit text का text size रखा है मैंने 20 dp, ठीक है. Also usually use sp for characters, not dp. I've made a mistake here. 20 sp. Now अगर मुझे इसको 20 sp नहीं 30 sp करना है, so what I could do is I have made it weather et. So I can say I can say weather et dot set text. See, set text size. So here I can set it to 30 if I want. And that will change. So it's not like if I want to change, I will need to change from here only. I can change it from the code itself. That is the advantage of making variables for it. Okay, so that's what we do. And yeah, I think that's it. So we get the response here and we show the response. If there is an error, this method will work. And if there is not an error, then this method will be called on response method. And then we just add the queue and we display it. I think that's it from our side. Now, is there anything that you all didn't understand or something that you want me or Manav to repeat? We'd be glad to help you out there. Hello. Okay, we'll wait for a few more minutes to address any doubts you'll have.
Yes,
Can you send the code? Yeah, sure. I'll share the code with you all. I'll forward it on the group so that if anyone else wants to have a look at it, you all can.
Uh, what would you prefer for Android in like for code? You would prefer Kotlin or Java for newbies?
So if you don't have any knowledge of anything, and if you're sure you want to do Android, then I would prefer Kotlin. But I prefer coding in Java because it is much more accepted in the industry. Like if you learn Java, you can like you are open to other options. Like we want to do backend development in Java or anything else. And usually Java is used more in the industry as of now. But Google has made Kotlin the official language of
Yeah.
App
Android, and
development.
Java is also supported. So
And
if
what
you
about Flutter? What is the
Flutter
uses of
is
Flutter?
really, अभी थोड़ा experience है इसलिए बताता हूँ. Flutter is a really really new language. So उसका कैसे है पता है? Packages जो अभी बताया ना राज ने, if you try to make an app and if you try to get that app into production, वो app का size is too huge. Even
Okay.
though it's like it works on both the devices, Android as well as iOS, but it's new, so you won't get as many resources or as many bugs solved as much as you'll get in Kotlin and Java.
So the
basically
advantage
the
for
support group is more like the community for Java and Kotlin.
Yeah, the
Basically,
community
Android
is
Studio is
way
much
more
more
than that.
wider.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a new language, it's a budding language, but it's a powerful thing. Dart and Flutter is a powerful thing. You could try to check things out.
Yeah. For now, we should actually focus on just Android Studio, and later we can move, if necessary, to Flutter or anything else.
Flutter
Yeah,
or
yeah.
React.
Can you
There's
send
React
your
Native.
phone number? For if we have any doubt, then we can you ask you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, sure. We'll send it on the Unicode group. I'll just yeah, we'll send it on the Unicode group.
And coming to the Flutter point, so many people now are starting to use Flutter and React Native, many startups mainly, because it saves time and money also. So if you are planning to get an internship in any startup, you will have to learn React Native, but it's easy to learn. So you'll have to start with Android. And if you have good knowledge about Android Studio, it's very easy to learn Flutter or React Native.
Also, if you're planning on Android Studio, I would suggest Java because like Java is a very popular language and it would help if you know one popular language very well.
And it can
Yeah.
be used in technical interviews also for coding round.
Okay.
I think they added Kotlin support. I don't remember.
Like basically, if like no matter what company comes or what company you apply for, their coding round will have Java and C++. Like even some companies don't have Python, but Java and C++ will be there for whatever company you apply. Like no
Uh,
matter how big or small the company is.
okay.
So it's a safe bet if you want to go there.
Also, since you guys have learned Python, तो एक बार उसका भी देख लो कि अभी तुम्हारा हैक प्रेप क्या सॉरी कोड अनकोड आ रहा है ना, तो just revise the lecture as well. So if you don't know any languages and you are starting up with it, so you could at least attempt code uncode with Python.
Also, till like whatever experience we have till now, language is the least important thing. Like it's not like you know C++ or you know Java or you know Python, you will get a preference unless it's unless it's specified in the job role that they require a Java developer or something. Other than that, if it's not specified, then irrespective if you know Java or Python, you'll have the same advantage. So
Hmm.
languages are not that important.
Okay.
You'll probably be asked to pick a language, you'll probably be, interviewed in some other language, and in the company you'll be told to read the documentation of another language and get on with it. So you need to learn how to read the documentation, the first and the foremost thing.
Hmm.
Any other doubts you'll have?
Nope.
So we'll wait for 2 minutes, and then if you don't have any doubts, we'll end it.
Yeah. Stop the recording.
Stop the recording.